Right now, the four suspects accused of murdering two moms from Kansas are in court for the first time. Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly disappeared last month on the way to pick up Butler's children for a supervised visit. Investigators say Butler was in a custody battle with her kids' grandmother, Tiffany Adams. Adams is now one of those four suspects charged. The others are Tad Callum, Cole Twombly, and Cora Twombly. Each are charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit murder. Trial attorney and legal analyst Misty Marris is joining us now. Misty, good morning to you, and thank you for being here. What happens today in this first court appearance?
So this is an initial court appearance. The now suspects are going to be advised of their constitutional rights. They're going to plead guilty or not guilty. I anticipate we'll hear not guilty pleas at this juncture. And then there'll be a discussion about bond or bail and whether or not they're going to actually make their bond. So this is really the first step in the road towards and ultimately a trial.
What do you expect bond to be set at with this judge based on the charges?
I would imagine it to be significant. That probable cause affidavit for these four individuals details a premeditated murder. And so in a case like this, where you have that level of premeditation, it is unlikely that there's going to be anything, nothing is going to be low. This is going to be a significant bond if there's a bond set at all for these people.
Is it unusual that they would appear together, and how likely will their cases be tried at the same time?
Well, I'm going to say that there will be a point where you have four co-conspirators that we have here, where these cases will ultimately be separated. Right now, in this initial stage, it makes sense for them all to appear together. But down the road, you could see a situation where there becomes some finger pointing, some levels of accountability shifted from one individual to another individual by these co-conspirators, perhaps in exchange for a deal. At the very least, I would anticipate that by the time we get to trial, they would all be tried separately because they're all going to have very different a very different part of the case, very different role that they played in this murder.
Right. Who is more culpable? The finger pointing begins, placing blame on someone versus someone else. The 16-year-old daughter of one of the suspects charged, pretty incredible that she came to authorities, shared the information that she did, provided in the affidavit. Brave young woman. How significant might she be in this investigation and case?
She seems to be the star witness because we have all of this evidence that's laid out in the arresting affidavits. That's why we know so much about the allegations of premeditation. So we have burner phones, we have stun guns, we have this premeditated plan to throw an anvil through the windshield. There's so much. But this 16-year-old daughter of one of these individuals, she's the one who really tied it together. She had, according to her, according to the affidavit, she had personal knowledge of statements that say that this plan had gone back to February, that this was absolutely premeditated, that they had been watching one of the victims in her home, and all sorts of information about how this unfolded and the aftermath, the cleaning of the car. So all of those statements that she personally witnessed, that is all going to be critical to the case. She's the one that's really tying all of the evidence together.
How about this group, God's Misfits, as we start to learn more about, their involvement, their weekly meetings? How might that play into the defense and the prosecution's arguments?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because on one hand, this seems to be more of a personal vendetta, right? This is a bitter, bitter child custody dispute that had been going on since 2019. So the group really on that front seems ancillary. But Marnie, it's going to be a big part of tying together the conspiracy aspect. Why are the Twomblys involved in this? To what level were others involved in the planning and conspiracy? So I would see that link between these four individuals being at the center of the prosecution's case. This is why these all came together, and that premeditated aspect, and proving that this was intricately planned. Now, from a defense perspective, I could see it going the other way. Well, these individuals, they had no relationship with the victims. They were drawn into this because they're part of this group. They weren't the masterminds. They played a more ancillary role. That's how you could see it playing out on both the prosecution and defense front.
All right, all four in court today. As always, Misty Marris, thank you.
Thank you.